Okay, so we want to apply conditional formatting to these numbers. Remember, the first step is to select the numbers to which we are applying our formatting. If it's not selected, it's not taking the conditional formatting. And then we go up to the Home Conditional Formatting. And now it does have some rules in there that have some built-in conditional formatting, but it's best to go to the new rule. Know how to make a rule from scratch, just like we did in the book. So go down to New Rule, and here's now we have the details of what we can change, what we can apply. Since I know what is positive and negative, I know negative is less than 0, positive is greater than or equal to 0, I can go right to the Format Only Cells That Contain. And I see here I'm going to have to make two rules. I'm going to have one rule to turn them red when they're negative. All right, let's get that one figured out. Then we'll figure out the positive rule. So, cells that contain, cell value, instead of between, I can do less than. And I could choose a particular cell, or I could just type in the number 0. Okay, so there's my condition. Now I get to decide the format. And that's where you have to pay attention to the question, what is the formatting to be applied when the numbers are negative? So I click the format, and whatever format's been applied, such as, let's make a red background. That would be the fill. Let's make a dark red. That's kind of annoying red. Let's try maybe a lighter red. And if you're not given a specific color, don't panic if you don't have the exact same color. The key is you know how to get this far. Okay, so that's one rule. Format it. Fill is the background. The border would be the border. Let's just, for fun, just practice that. If I wanted a particular border, such as a blue border, I choose my color, and then I apply it. And I can even make it can I make it a thicker border? I think I only have a specific border. So I can make a blue border, or I could turn the font a particular color. So let's just, for fun, practice that. Let's make it bold and a color of, how about it's black now, let's make it purple. Just so we have practice at the format to be applied. So if you're asked to do background, border, or font, those would all be applied. And it's giving you an example, but you don't see the full all built together until you apply. Now you see the color it would be when it's negative, and I can click OK. And I see it working. Now I still have to do another rule to make positive numbers. Let's make those have a green background. So again, to conditional formatting, I do another new rule. And again, format cells that contain. This time, instead of between, I can choose greater than or equal to. And put the number 0. So that will be positive numbers. Now the formatting to be applied. Come to the format page. And let's do the fill. Let's make a greenish fill. A border of, how about a yellow border, just for fun. And a font of, make a larger font than it is. Oh, I have to choose a color. Let's see, let's make a color of a bright yellow. And, oh, it's not letting me choose my font. I can make it bold, but I can't choose my font size. Okay, I can always choose my fonts. I can leave my font size alone. There's an example of what it will look like when that is applied. You won't see it being applied until I click OK. And now we have the formatting applied to those cells that I had selected. And just to verify, I can come over here and make that a positive 5. And once I leave that cell or hit enter, it gets the new formatting applied. So conditional formatting got applied, selected it, conditional formatting, new rule, cells that contain. Once you're about this far, then it's a matter of the actual condition and then the format. If it's not quite working or you think you messed up, you can always come back and do Manage Rules, and you can delete rules or edit them by just clicking on it and edit rule. You can always modify it if you realize, oh, I didn't give it the color that they asked for. Any questions about that? That's often been a little more challenging. Yep. Okay. So if you're given a statement like less than 0 or negative numbers, I select through the cells that I want to apply it to, conditional formatting, new rule, cells that contain, and this is where, if it's negative, I change this from between to be less than. And then negative numbers are less than 0, so I put a 0 there. And that from that point, whatever color I apply, whatever formatting, will only take effect when this condition is true. So I can always come back, manage rules. I can delete rules and start over. And we won't worry about any more complicated things than that with conditional formatting. All right. Now another one. Say you're given we can work on these same numbers. Say we're given a set of numbers, and we want to calculate some statistics or functions. Let's do function practice. And let's say we are being asked to display of these numbers above here. Let's think of some of the functions that Excel can do for us. We can count how many are there. We can do the average. We can do the min. We can do the max. Well, and there might even be another function. Remember where I can look for functions? Up here on the little F. If it has to do with statistics, I can look in categories. If I'm given a particular function name, I could just look for that function name up here. So suppose someone says it has something to do with median. I could type median and search for that function. And then I find a function called median, and it shows me how the median works. About every function, the numbers that you need to perform the function on will be in parentheses. Okay, so suppose we're asked to calculate the count of a particular set of numbers. Well, I would click on the box where I want to put the result, and I can type equal, and if I take a guess, maybe it is count. So if I just type count, see how it shows the functions that are spelled that way automatically, and I see, yes, there indeed is a count function. I can type count, and then left parenthesis. And if it applies to a range, all I have to do now is select the range by just clicking and dragging through a range, and it will construct the proper syntax of what that range would be. I can hit enter even if I don't hit the right parenthesis, and it will put it in there for me. So if you're asked to calculate the count of a particular set of numbers, that's what we're looking for. Remember the equal sign. Let's do the same thing for this one. Oops. And when you're editing, hit escape before you type somewhere else, or I might do the point and click entry. Average equal average. Left parenthesis, and then look through the numbers that you want to take the average of. And because blank cells are treated as 0, they will contribute, they will lower my average, because average is the number in the cells divided by how many cells. So be sure just to select the numbers that I'm being asked to calculate the average of, and then hit enter, and it calculates the average for me. Min equal min, left parenthesis, drag through the range. I'm not sure why it's making those so huge. And the max equal max. So anytime you're asked for a function, remember, start with the equal sign and drag through the range of cells. If I double click here, we'll see that it's doing the average of B3 and 3. And I can't explain why that's getting huge like it is. So you'll be asked to, give me the average of a particular cells in a particular range. Now, let's make some numbers just to practice our charts. Let's say we're going to do some kind of a chart. I'm going to copy this chart and that data and put it down below here. And let's just make up some numbers here. Say I have a range of numbers like that. And I'm being asked to create a chart with those numbers. Well, let's select the numbers and see what kind of charts I can insert. So let's put a chart over here. Let's do a chart. Make sure I have the numbers selected. Drag through them. And let's see what kind of charts. Anytime I'm asked to do a chart, the easiest thing to do is select the numbers first, and then come over here and pick the chart you're being asked to do. So suppose I'm doing a scatter chart. Where would that be? There we are. Scatter charts are in there. And there's a scatter chart. I could adjust my style of scatter chart. Or I could change my type of chart up here. I could make it scatter with smooth lines connecting them. Up there under Insert, Chart, and this guy right here, Insert Scatter, XY, or Bubble Chart. And there's multiple types of scatter charts, and there's multiple kinds of bubble charts. The important thing is, when you're asked to do a chart, you know where to come to in the menu. Insert, Chart, and you'll be told what kind of chart it is. I like scatter charts with smooth lines and markers. Sometimes just the lines are kind of cool. The bubble charts are kind of cool too, but I'm not sure what they mean. And this chart got put right in there. I can always resize that chart. Zoom out a little bit and just resize my chart, just to show that I know how to put in a chart. You can grab that chart and move it around. And I can move my title around. Now, some of the more basic things here. Suppose I have a cell. Remember how I'm going to do is just draw a line. I'll call this merging and centering. Merging, centering. And let's say I have a number. We'll put my number here, 1, 2, 3. But within I'll make an outline here just for practice. I'm going to put an outline around that. Suppose you're given something like this, and you're being asked to merge and center that number within that area. I might even give it a background just to make it clear what I'm asking for. So say, merge and center that number within those cells. Well, I would select through all the cells, and I can do the quick merge and center here, or I can, it doesn't give me anything but the merge and center. Let's do the merge and center. That does one type of merging and centering, left and right merging, but it kind of sticks it to the bottom of the rectangle. I want it centered, I want to merge and center both vertically and horizontally. So I can do horizontally very quickly with that guy, but how would I merge it vertically? Remember where to get at the extra parameters regarding formatting? I just filled it with gray just so you could see the box. So let me take the gray away and do this. See how it's multiple cells? I want those merged and centered. Quick merging and doing most of the work is that one. But I want it centered vertically as well. Remember how to get to the extra formatting settings? Right here. In order to center it vertically, I have to go a little extra to the Format Cells dialog. And here, vertical centering is available right here. I can do that centered there. But, you know what? I realized this guy here will also do my vertical centering. So I could use this guy too, instead of having to go to that dialog. So, merging, centering, and then vertical centering or alignment is there too. But remember, if there's ever anything that you're not able to find in icons over here, and like any little ribbon, when you see that little guy in the corner, look for the extra features, the extra capabilities there. And we're going to be doing another thing while we're here. If you're ever asked to rotate something a specific amount, I can go to that dialog and give it an exact rotation. I can type in the exact rotation there, or drag this to a specific angle. Over here on the ribbon, we have a 45-degree built in. But if I have a specific angle, I can jump over to the Format Cells dialog and put in a specific angle. So for fun here, let's go ahead and do 25 degrees, or let's do 30 degrees. And now it's merged and centered and rotated 30 degrees. And let's practice a little bit now with formatting in accounting format, account, currency, custom format. Alright, so let's put in some numbers here that we're going to practice formatting. So 1, 2, 3, 4.56, and negative 1, 2, 3, 4.56, and 10 million. Now suppose I want to put these in a particular format. Remember in charts, we're dealing with money. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy in comma format, comma style. So there's one format, comma, very common. Currency is a classic style in accounting tables. Clicking the dollar, counting number format, and I have to enlarge that to see it. There's the counting number format. So accounting format. Now let's do something a little more custom. How about accounting but red when negative? Well, and let's apply that to a couple cells here just so I can see how it works. I want to put those cells in a specific accounting format, red when they're negative. And it's not dealing with conditional formatting. I select those two cells, and over here I see, well, there's some formats available to me, but I can jump to the more number formats, and I can go to accounting, and I can choose my symbol in front of it. And now let's see, under number, oh, currency, sorry, currency, not accounting. Under currency, here is a style that's not found on the ribbon. I have to go to the Format Cells dialog under Currency. I realize it wasn't under Accounting, but Currency Style, where I can make it red and in parentheses when it's negative. So it's similar to conditional formatting, but it's a built-in currency display, currency format. Now, if I stretch the cells out long enough, I will see that the numbers are similar to accounting format, but currency with red and parentheses when negative. Now, if I make it a positive number, it'll automatically put it in formatted as positive number. So remember how to get to that. The number, currency style, specifics, built-in formatting. Accounting's boring. All I can choose is the leader, and it will do some parentheses for me. Others are useful to know, but so be familiar with this formatting cells dialog. Yeah. That was I selected them first, then I went to number, and under currency, that bottom one shows red and in parentheses when negative. That was the one I chose. Okay? So be able to apply counting, various styles of formatting based on the instructions. Okay, you know how to put in graphics. I'm going to jump to a practice with absolute reference. Remember what that is. That means some absolute reference. Let's do to cell. We'll call it cell B4. What would be the absolute reference to cell B4? What I'm asking for here is equal. Type in equal B4 and then hit the F4 key to put the stickies in there. Or you can put it without the equal just to show that you know what the absolute reference means. Absolute reference means stickies, dollar signs, left and right on both the column and the row designation. And just as we practice that, let's build up a little table to practice our sticky location. Remember our little table? Let's make a multiplication table. And we'll put some numbers here. We'll do the starting at 8, 9, 10, and 11. And here we'll do 12, 13, 14, 15. Yes? The dollar, or the F4, if you have it selected in a formula, and you have the equal sign on it, when you hit F4, it will toggle through the combinations of stickies. F4 puts them on both. But you could have always typed $B, $4. Now, just to make sure that you understand how the stickies work, if I'm asking you to make a multiplication table here, what would I do for the formula here, so when I copy it down and across, it'll have the correct references? Let's start with, well, here the multiplication is that cell times that cell. But now in that formula, where do I put the stickies so I always reference what's in row 31 multiplied by what is in column B? Yes? Because we're multiplying. This is going to be a multiplication table. I just typed asterisk. Yeah, just type the asterisk. All right, so where do the stickies go? This is good practice at you understanding absolute referencing. The sticky means where it's to the left of will not change as I copy my formula. So what will not change as I copy down? The C, the 31, the B, or the 32? As I go down, do I want this to change to row 32 and multiply by what's in this row now, in the cell now? No, I always want to be multiplying by 12, 13, 14, or 15, which is in row 31. So sticky next to row 31. See why that's sticky on 31? We want it always to reference 31 and not to change. As we go to the next column, we do want it to go to 13 and not stay at 12. So we don't put the sticky on the C for that one. Now guess where the sticky goes in this one? I'm always multiplying by what is in column B as I copy my formula over. So I sticky the B. The B will not change. And remember with absolute referencing, in absolute referencing, it only matters when I'm planning to copy this formula. Now as I copy down, I see that the 31 stayed at 31. The column stays column B, so now as I copy it to the rest of my table, my multiplication will still keep the 31 staying a 31 and the B always staying a B. That's the purpose of the absolute reference. If I'm copying a formula, usually I have it on both, like I have that assumptions table. Remember our assumptions table? Those are always refer to that assumptions table from one location. So that's just a practice at making sure you kind of understand how the stickies work. They keep the number to the right of them from changing as I copy the formula. All right, here we go. More practice. Remember, this one's a little scary. Conditional formatting. Yes? Okay. Remember, we start with this formula here. That we want to do a multiplication table without entering any more formulas except the formula in here. So I put in here, it's C31 times B32, but as I copy it, don't let the B change if I copy it to a new row, because I always want this number to be coming from row 32. I mean, this number to be coming from column B. This number always coming from row 31. So row 31 sticks at row 31 as I do my multiply in other places in my table. The other number always comes from the column B as I do my calculation. Thus the stickies on the B and on the 31. That answer your question? Okay. Now, conditional forming. Let's give you a little practice with this, because this is a tougher one, because it's not so obvious. And we'll give you a formula like you get a bonus when your quota is met. And we'll give you the bonus. Yeah, we'll give you your bonus when your quota is met. So we have the bonus of $1 million. The quota is 10,000 sales. And your bonus, your bonus. Oh, wait a minute. There's one more number missing. My sales. Now, my bonus. Okay, my sales are $999. What formula here would calculate my bonus? using the if formula. So I would do equal if. What is the condition based on that sentence? You get a bonus when your quota is met. Mathematically, what would that condition be stated as? I've got a bonus, the quota, and my sales. Anyone want to give it a try? Yep, sales equal or greater than quota. And that's something you have to figure out from that word problem, those nasty little word problems. Okay, so where are my sales? Right here in this cell right here. So if that number there is greater than or equal, remember the greater than or equal. Quota met usually means greater than or equal. And then my quota is right there. There's my condition. My sales have met my quota. If my sales meet my quota, I get the bonus. So that would be that value up there. There's the bonus. But remember, the if formula takes a third parameter. The result, if I don't meet the bonus, means I get nothing. So I type in comma 0 for the value if my sales did not reach the quota. So that's the sentence. You get a bonus when your quota is met. And just to test it, let's put in a larger number here. Now I see I did get the bonus. So the if formula is comparing. Let's do another one for practice. Sure. So as you see this, you see, okay, when C41 is greater than or equal to C40, there's my sales, greater than or equal to quota, comma, what I get for a bonus, which is right there, 1 million, and comma 0, meaning I don't get a bonus if that quota is not met. Even though the sentence didn't state that, that's implied. You get a bonus when your quota is met. And you don't get it if your quota is not met.
Does the order of greater than or equal sign matter?
Nope. As long as you put the 40 on the left side if you're doing less than. 40, it would have to be less than. If C40 is less than, or sorry, if my sales are less than, then I would have to switch this order around if I want to do the other way. So let's just do another one. Yep. Is there a question or are you just stretching? All right. Let's try another one just for practice. How about I get a gift from Grammy when my checking account balance is below $100. She spoils me. All right, well, we need a few numbers here. Let's go ahead and do our balance. And let's make that $99. And Grammy's gift. A little simpler if formula here. Since I've been told here my balance is below 100, I don't have to refer to another cell. What would be the formula for Grammy's gift to me for this month? What would the condition be? Yep. So where is my balance being kept? In this cell here. So make sure you refer to the cell, not to the number 99. If that number is less than 100, remember below 100 mathematically means less than 100. And if that's the case, I get a gift. Uh-oh, I don't know the amount of gift. I didn't get, oh, that's the cell that was missing. We'll put that in cell, how about C47? Otherwise, I get 0. And then I'll put in a gift amount. She gives me $1,000 when my income falls below 100. So there I forgot to mention a gift from Grammy of the amount that's going to be in another cell. Alright, so remember you can always do Control backtick to see your formulas there. Bonus when your quota is met. Quota is met is the condition. The bonus refers to where I'm keeping the reference. If I gave you, hey, she gives me $500 when my balance is met, if I stated that right in the sentence, you wouldn't have to put it in an extra cell. You could just have 500 there instead of a reference to a cell. All right, let's jump to a budget table. This is the most important part of what's going to be on your final, being able to create a budget with some items. So I'm going to just quick put a few things in there that you can practice with, and there's going to be a few things you need to do. We'll call this our balance sheet. And we'll have some months of the year, so there'll be a month, and then we'll start with January, and it will be continued. So this table will be given to you. You're not going to have to build this whole table from scratch. We'll have a beginning balance at the beginning of the month. Oh, sorry, I'm going to put that in a separate row over there. There's my row headings. My balance is in that row, and there'll be some type of income. And we'll just put in our job income and how about gifts? All right, total income. Let's just put in some number here. We get $500 a month from our job. Or sorry, $500 from our job. Gifts, random numbers, estimating from each month. Those will be filled in for you. What would be the formula? Let's start with a balance of $2,000. What would be the formula for total income? This is where we can use Excel to do that little summation for us. Remember that little guy up there? Or I could just type equal sum. By clicking on the sigma, puts in the formula for sum, and it highlights the numbers it's adding up. A very common mistake here, pay attention, income is not your balance added to income. Income is the income for that month. So many people add up balance. That's not income. That's what money is already there. Income is what gets added to the balance to figure out the ending balance. So don't make the mistake of adding together the balance. You add your income numbers to give you your total income. Now we have expenses. And we'll just make one or two expenses here. Food. Snacks. Okay. And total expenses will be any of expenses added together. So let's add our total expenses will be the summation of any numbers in this column. Okay? Because I want to jump right away to the marriage saving formula, our total expenses. Oh, we already have total expenses. Sorry, our ending balance. Yes? Click on the formula, see if you have a summation of the two numbers. double click on it and see if it highlights the numbers that are your two job and gifts. It should be just a simple summation. Now let's get quick this ending balance before we have to end here. Ending balance. Who dares to try the marriage-saving formula? What would our ending balance be for the month of January? You want to give it a try? James, you want to give it a try? I'll give you a start. We type equal. Is he worthy? You can do this. C50 minus what? Minus C50. Yeah, you subtract your total expenses because there's going to be other expenses. One more number. Got the amount I started with. You're correctly subtracting your expenses. There's one other number involved here. Yeah, you got to add your income for that month. And the order you do it doesn't matter, but just remember it's the beginning income plus, beginning balance plus income minus expenses. The balance for February, this is an easy one, or the beginning balance for February is the same as the ending balance for January. So we just do equal and whatever's in that cell. So it's beginning balance plus income minus expenses. Or income minus expenses plus, balance minus expenses plus income. The order doesn't matter as long as it's adding income, subtracting expenses. And we are out of time. What's that? No, this is for you to use for practice. If you have any questions about what we did, send me an email. We have Wednesday to answer any questions regarding this Excel. And maybe I will finish this up. And remember when you're doing accounting tables, some of the points you'll get is just putting all the numbers dealing with dollars in accounting format, either comma or accounting with the dollar in there. I prefer just the comma because those dollars get messy. So don't forget, so many people worry about getting the formulas right, and they forget the easy part about formatting the numbers in proper accounting table format. So don't forget to do that. There will be some assumptions tables as well, and maybe we'll practice that on Wednesday. The absolute referencing, because we're going to need to copy our formulas to the rest of the year with some assumptions about how much we're planning to spend for entertainment or tithing. And then we'll practice building tables from scratch, which is what's going to be on the final. But that's pretty fresh in our minds. Practice your Excel skills. Any questions, bring them up Wednesday, or send me an email if you're stuck on something. All right, have a wonderful day.